Bonjour à tous, j'espère que vous allez bien. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today, I'm going to show you how to ask questions correctly in Task 2 of the TCF Speaking exam. Actually, we do have this role play same in TEF exam as well. So you can also watch if you're preparing for your TEF exam. So many students lose points here because they repeat the same type of questions or forget polite forms. But don't worry, after this video, you will sound natural and confident. So let's go. So first, a quick reminder that in task 2, you are given a situation. For example, it can be about asking information of the apartment renting or apartment buying, a course, a trip, and you're supposed to ask about next, I would say 8 to 12 questions, as you have 3 minutes and 30 seconds to ask questions about, and in this time your examiner will also be responding, so that's like very easy to manage. So we're gonna start by taking an example of asking about a French course. So what are the basic question types which you can ask in this type of question? So we will see. Firstly, we can ask about information questions, which often include what, where, when, and how. For example, we can use a color to ask about the time. Don't worry, I'll have this proper format made like next, like we're gonna see in the video, and we will go ahead. Or to ask où se trouve, where the course take place. Or we can ask, but combien ça coûte, how much it does cost, right? So that's like basic information. So you can ask these kind of questions in all of your like topics, different kind of topics. And then like, comment faire pour, how can I, right? So these are the things which you can ask for almost all topics, are like type of questions. And then we have yes and no questions. So basically we ask these kind of questions to confirm the information. For example, if we want to know, so is it possible to reserve in advance, to book something in advance? Then we say, est-ce que je dois réserver à l'avance? Like, do I have to book in advance? Est-ce que je dois? So this is the like easiest form to ask yes and no questions, to use est-ce que. And then if we're gonna say, and if you want to know, like if you're asking about in apartment and we want to know if it's furnished or not, then pouvez-vous me dire? Start your question like this. It sounds like more polite as well. And then the person will just respond in yes or no. Pouvez-vous me dire si le logement is a synonym for the place. Si le logement est meublé. Et meublé. So this is how we can ask the yes and no questions. And third kind we have is polite and indirect questions. This makes you sound more polite and professional. For example, if you're taking a course or like even for the appointment, you want to make the payment, you would say, je voudrais savoir. Je voudrais savoir. That's how you're going to start the question. Je voudrais savoir si je peux payer en ligne. So we have this expression is je voudrais savoir. That's a very good expression. And then another expression you have is pourriez-vous me dire? Pourriez-vous me dire? Like pourriez-vous me dire quelles sont les conditions de logement? Right? Du logement. You can use this expression to sound more polite. And then you can say, est-il possible? Est-il possible? Like, Est-il possible de changer la date du rendezvous? Is it possible to change the date of the meeting? So, using je voudrais savoir or pourriez-vous me dire is a great way to impress the examiner, I would say. And then we do have a mini example here where I took the topic of like you are a student and you want to learn French. So because of that, you are contacting a teacher and you are going to have a mini dialogue with the person. So here I have a mini dialogue. So you can say bonjour, je vous appelle pour avoir des informations sur le cours de français. Français. And then the examiner will say, oui, bien sûr. Quel voulez-vous savoir? So, we will start it with a good introduction. We told the person our motive to call the person or to meet the person in person, right? So firstly, we're going to start it with tout d'abord. À quelle date commence la prochaine session? We want to know when the next session for the French course is starting. So here we use this connector tout d'abord. Then ensuite, so you see we used another connector. Ensuite, combien de temps dure la formation? Like what is the total duration of the course? Then we said, j'aimerais aussi savoir s'il est possible de suivre le cours en ligne. Is it possible to follow the course online? Right? And then we used another expression. En ce qui concerne le paiement, est-ce que je peux payer en plusieurs fois? Is it possible if I pay in like several times? Enfin, finally, est-ce que vous fournissez un certificat à la fin du cours? Do you provide the certificate at the end of the course? So see how we used connectors or expressions before starting each question. And we asked direct questions. We also used polite questions and yes and no questions, right? And then this is also yes and no questions. So we basically combine the different kind of questions. So you don't have to ask one kind of question only. You gotta combine them. Like there are other types. Photo. Is it necessary? Faut-il avoir un niveau? Is it necessary to have a level already in French, right? Kind of this you can ask them. And you can just use question like this. Pouvez-vous? Pouvez-vous? This is also a different question. To make it, pouvez-vous? My dear, can you tell me? And then you can ask whatever you want to whatever you want to know, right? So try to kind of vary your question structure. That will help you a lot to improve your score in your TCF part 2.